CLUBcast. I want to thank everybody that's listened so far to this podcast and has made it what it is. CLUBcast is becoming a huge success, and I just want to start off this video by thanking everybody that's listened, that's told a friend, that's maybe linked to our page or website. I want to thank everybody for their support so far. I do tend to get off topic, so I don't make videos very often, but I got this little cue card right here. I just wrote down all the main points so that way I don't forget anything, and I also stay on topic. So consider this almost like a newsletter. I thought about making this a blog post because I wanted to talk about the previous month, I wanted to talk about what's going on right now, and I wanted to kind of talk about the future of CLUBcast. So just so that way you, the listeners, understand what's going on, and you're a part of it. I want you to feel involved, because you know what, without you guys listening, we don't have a podcast to do anyway. If nobody's listening to our podcast, well, we might not make it. So I want you all to feel a part of this, and that's why I'm doing this video. I'm going to try and do it every month, or at least whenever there's something big going on or something new going on with CLUBcast, I want to make this video. So it may be monthly. I may take months off and not do this video, depending on what's going on. If there's nothing new coming up, I won't do it. So let's just get started here. I want to talk about the past month first. January was CLUBcast's biggest month ever, and by biggest month ever, I mean 200,000 more downloads than we've ever gotten in any previous month. We got 410,000 downloads in January. And I want you to understand the magnitude of that, because normally we get maybe 100, 150, but this time we got 410,000. I'm sorry, not 200,000, I don't know what I'm talking about. 410,000, that is insane. And that's one of the reasons that back in October and November, a lot of you had trouble downloading, because it was getting so popular that the server we had and we were using was totally just frozen because there were so many download requests. So that was the problem back then, and thankfully we got that sorted out now. We're with a great host called Blueberry. You should check them out if you're a podcaster, if you're interested in that. I believe the website is BLUBRRY.com. So check them out if you want to. But I just want to plug them because they offer a great service at a great price for us, and they're doing a great job of hosting all that content. And even with 400,000 downloads, I didn't notice any downloads slowing down when I was downloading them to my iPhone. So I just want to thank them there. Also want to talk about advertising. Advertising, if you've listened to episode 35, you've noticed that we do have a sponsor now. And obviously we have to advertise for that sponsor. And the sponsor right now is Audible. And Audible.com is basically an audiobook provider. And I'm not going to plug them right now, but I just want you to know that that's our current sponsor. And basically, at this point in the game, we need sponsors to survive, because it's costing a lot of money. And all the DJs at CLUBcast, like, we're college students. At most, we have part-time jobs. So we need the extra funding to be able to survive, to pay for all of the costs of bandwidth, of websites, stuff like that. So that's really going to be necessary going forward. So I hope you all understand that. I don't want to flood the show with sponsors, because I know that it's about the music in the end. And I also don't want to have completely irrelevant ads. So if there is a sponsor that comes to us and wants to advertise, it's going to have to be somewhat relevant to our audience, for one, and also to me. And I'll end up making the final decision on that most of the time. I'll also consult with DJ Geo and the other DJs involved. But I just want you to know that there is a quality control thing going on here. I'm not going to destroy the podcast and ruin the flow of it. And if you notice in episode 35, I tried to do the actual advertising and talking about our sponsor early on, because I didn't want to ruin the flow of the mix in the middle of it and totally destroy the energy, as it builds and flows throughout the mix. So that's something I just want you to understand. The advertising is important to us, as I said, We need it to survive because it's too expensive at this point to keep it going unless we have some sort of revenue stream. So that's going to be it right now for advertising. It's a big step for us, and it's going to keep it going. And also, the fact that we have advertising means that we can afford to buy new equipment, come up with new ideas, and just bring you better quality overall and new takes on DJing. And the last point I want to make about advertising is just that the way that they continue to support us, the sponsors support us, is by you supporting them. So I encourage you to, at very minimum, go and check out our sponsors' websites. You know, if I plug something on the podcast, I ask that you guys just check it out. You don't have to buy or rent or whatever, you know, whatever the service is. You don't need to do any of that. But I just ask that you check it out and you keep an open mind, because when our sponsors aren't being supported, they're not going to support us. And they won't stay our sponsors, you know, if it's not working out for them. It has to work for both of us. You know, it's a business decision, and I understand that on their part. If they were to drop us, if we didn't have anybody responding to the advertising. So I just want you all to understand that. That's all I wanted to say on advertising. I just want you to understand what's going on, and I just wanted to explain it all to you so that way you understand and you don't feel, I don't want you to feel alienated because there's advertising. I don't want you to feel like we've sold out, like it's all about making money, because it's not, but we have to obviously cover our overhead and, you know, have a little bit extra to be able to get new equipment and stuff like that, as I said earlier. And lastly, I just want to talk about the future of CLUBcast. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on in the future months. If our sponsors continue to sponsor us, and I don't think I can disclose exactly how long the contract is for our sponsors and stuff like that for Audible, but if they continue to sponsor us in the future, or if we have another sponsor, we're going to be able to do some cool stuff. And possibilities would include HD video mixes. That's extremely expensive as far as hosting and stuff like that because of the huge file sizes, but that's a possibility. We could afford to have longer mixes and also higher quality mixes. Right now what we have for all of the mixes, they're encoded in MP3. I know you all know what that is. But they're encoded at 128 kilobytes per second. And that's comparable to, I guess, CD quality, they would say. But it could be better, and I know you're not going to notice a huge difference, but we could improve that quality, because at one point when it wasn't as big, we could afford to give you 192 kilobits a second for our mixes, or even 256, you know. So I want to be able to increase that as we can afford to upgrade our hosting plans and stuff like that. So that's another possibility. Another thing, as I said earlier, was bringing in other DJs. I'm going to be able to reach out to more people and hopefully give you bigger name DJs. I mean, it would be awesome to have a mix by Benny Benassi, and I'm not saying that's going to happen, don't get crazy, but we're heading in that direction where we started here, you know, and it was just our core group of me and Gio, Dangerous Stranger, and all of these guys are talented DJs. So I'm not trying to say that they're not. They're great DJs, but obviously we're going up slowly, higher profile DJs, and I want to keep it going up all the way to the ceiling. And John Beaver was an example of that, because John Beaver is really well known in the Bay Area. He has a ton of fans. He's actually opening for Gareth Emery, if you know who that is, this weekend. So he's a huge DJ in the area, and I just want to keep going, giving you new DJs and stuff like that. I want to talk about new CLUBcast channels, new podcasts. I'm not sure if this is going to happen, but I want you all to know, that this is on my mind, and I'm thinking about this, and I'm going to bounce this off of the other DJs involved with the CLUBcast. But I was thinking it would be really cool, and I think you guys would really appreciate it as well, if we gave you more genres. So let's say we had a CLUBcast dance, and that's basically what we have right now, is, you know, the dance genre and electronic and a little bit of mainstream kind of mix, like, you know, electronic remixes of mainstream songs. But wouldn't it be cool if I could give you a specific CLUBcast hip-hop podcast or a CLUBcast dubstep podcast? I think it would be cool to be able to dedicate a specific podcast to each genre that you all enjoy. And I'm not sure if that can happen. That would require a lot more DJs, but it's a possibility, and I want you to know that going forward. So if you have any comments, suggestions, questions, anything like that, please, you can email me always, djmponline@gmail.com. You can email DJ Geo, I believe it's djgeogeo@gmail.com. But to be safe, just email me actually, so that way I don't get it wrong. If you want to send something to Geo, you can send it to me and I'll forward it to him. So djmponline@gmail.com. Hit me up with questions, comments, anything you want, because I want you guys to be just as involved in this as we are. You know, you can comment on our Facebook page, our website, anything, we'll get back to you. So I just want you all to know what's going on. That was the point of this video. I hope you have a better understanding of what's going on with CLUBcast and what's going to happen going forward. I hope you're all enjoying it. I'm definitely having fun with it. You know, I never expected CLUBcast to blow up and be this big, but it is pretty large now, and I want to thank you, all of you guys. You're the reason that this thing is so huge. So I want to thank you all for that. And also, we hit 1,000 likes on Facebook, so I'm going to have a giveaway of some sort. I'm not sure what it is, so I'm going to have that pretty soon to kind of celebrate, and you'll all have a chance at some sort of prize. So thank you all very much, and have a good day.